Every year on the 21st of February, South Africans are given the opportunity to witness this. The might of the SANDF. Armed Forces Day commemorates the sinking of the troop ship SS Mandy on this day in 1917 during the First World War. It was on one of the Armed Forces Day parades when a young Riranzu Mutlangu's interest in the army was aroused. The lad from Giyani in Limpopo wanted to become a pilot, and the army helped him to fulfill his dreams.
I got to know the Air Force via one of the armed forces. I think it was in Cape Town at the time. And I asked around, and obviously I wanted to fly. Then I saw adverts for private flying schools and inquired, but the price was a bit too hefty. And then luckily I saw an advert for pilots being advertised in the South African Air Force on their website after I saw one of the parades. And then I applied. Then they called me in to come and do the entry exams.
The SANDF is a community on its own, with its own hospital and a range of in-house healthcare service providers.
The South African National Defence Force, in our hospital, the one military hospital, we normally see all the members of the military members and their families as well. Then when they are sick, when they are injured, we render all the necessary healthcare services to them, and even get to refer to all other multidisciplinary areas as well.
My job can be divided into a few sections. The first one will be cardiopulmonary physiotherapy, or we call it chest physio. Those are patients that are admitted in ICU or the medical wards that can't maybe breathe for themselves, or they are in ventilators. The next one could be neurophysiotherapy, where we help patients that have had strokes or spinal cord injuries that maybe can't walk, can't use one certain side of the body. Another part is orthopedic physiotherapy, or we can also call it musculoskeletal. That's for patients with back pain, or that have injured limbs, or have been operated, or haven't yet been operated. So we work in different spheres of the hospital.
11 years into the Defence Force, Matsapelo Khumalo is still captivated by the reaction she receives when people find out what she does for a living.
They say, okay, what job are you doing? And then I tell them that I'm an aircraft electrician. They're like, okay, what is that? I say, no, I basically fix the components of the aircraft. And then they're like, which one? The ones that we see flying? I say, yes, but the ones in the Air Force.
Working in the Defence Force has its challenges. It can be unpredictable at times.
You never know what you're going to be doing completely when you come to work. We work on taskings that are given through from the command post, requirements from any other armed forces, any other arm of force in the Defence Force will submit their transport requests as to what they need to do or where they need to get.
But with a vast of professions within the Defence Force, this allows them to interact with their counterparts from across the globe.
2015, it was the World Military Rugby Championships. I was the team physio for the SANDF team. We spent a month in England. That really got me great exposure to other defence forces and what they do as well. So it's not only our defence force in a nutshell, it's a lot of defence forces that came together and played rugby. So I learned a lot from my other colleagues that side.
Even though the South African National Defence Force is still male-dominated, its members are certain that this will change in the near future.
If I can do it as a lady, I believe that any lady can do it. And given my background, because somebody would say, but aircraft electrician, I mean, how would I even get there? My parents don't have money and all that. No, it's not about that. All you have to do is just study. Study and give your best.
As Polokwane hosts this year's Armed Forces Day, who knows, maybe the parade will inspire other young minds to join these men and women as doctors or pilots. Nompumelelo Mthethwa, SABC News, Waterkloof.
So for more on Armed Forces Day, let's cross now to Blain Herman, who is in Polokwane. Blain, good morning. Just tell us how the preparations coming along, and also what can we expect today?
Yeah, hey Sakina, Good morning, everybody. Look, we are definitely in for a treat today because when the military is involved in anything, you know it's going to be precise, you know it's going to be grand, you know it's going to be colorful, and you know it's going to be loud, because you're going to see what I mean when those Gripen fighters go shooting across the sky. So lots to hear and see right here in Polokwane. Look, Armed Forces Day has really become an important feature on the national calendar. Back in 2012, then President Jacob Zuma proclaimed that the 21st of February will be observed and commemorated as Armed Forces Day. This time around, the Commander-in-Chief Cyril Ramaphosa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, will be delivering the keynote address. He will be officiating today and basically thanking the armed forces and showing the country's appreciation for answering, I guess, the call to serve. Lots to talk about here. Let me bring in our guest this morning. This is Colonel Maseko, Ronald Maseko, Senior Staff Officer Media Liaison at the SANDF. Colonel, always a pleasure talking to you. Look, it's a big day, but I guess it's important to honor those who protect the Republic's territorial integrity.
Blain, it's always a good thing for the country, for instance, to honor its men and women in uniform. So events like these ones is where we actually bring these men and women to the people so that the people can then engage with them, so that they can get to experience what it is like to be in uniform. So that then, the pride is only built by information. When people know what we do, that's where the pride will come in. So this is a defense force for the people. So we are always taking it to the people so that the people can then get to engage with us.
I heard someone saying that having a defense force is like having an insurance policy that you hope you never require. But if you do, are we battle ready? Should South Africans be confident in the abilities of the military here?
Blain, look, we are battle ready because we have a saying in the Defence Force, in our SANDF, that we train as we fight and we fight as we train. So whatever we do, Armed Forces, for instance, has been declared an operation. So whatever comes out of this Armed Forces, it's lessons learned for us for any eventualities that may come. So we're training as we go along. If battle or any war were to come, we'll be ready for it because we've been training for all this time. People are always wondering why we're having these big events. We need to keep up with everything. We need to keep up with our training. Pick up our standard. So things change daily, so we also have to be on par with everything that happens around us. Threats are becoming more and more sophisticated, so we have to adapt to those changes and train along those lines so that when any eventuality were to come, we are ready for it.
Yeah. Look, I guess one of the criticisms will be, why have this Armed Forces Day and spend a lot of money? Because I assume this will cost a lot of money. You've got a lot of personnel from the SANDF coming from around the country. So the benefits, what would you say is the main benefit?
Look, Armed Forces, I'm not going to talk about the cost. I think what we need to focus on is the investment that we put in the country with events like Armed Forces. This is an investment for the country. We're getting ourselves up to standard, up to a level that is acceptable in terms of looking after our country. So people always complain about finances, how much is this costing, that is costing. But let's look at the bigger picture. What investment do we get out of an event like this one? That's what should be critical. That's what people should be focusing on.
Yeah. Look, what about border crime? Cross-border crime and safeguarding the borderline. I understand it's one of the responsibilities of the South African National Defence Force, and we hear numerous complaints from residents who are living in municipalities that border other countries, and they're talking about hijackings, they're talking about counterfeit goods. Just recently I heard that the Limpopo police have arrested about 3 people with regards to counterfeit goods. It's really hurting our economy, these coming in. Tell us about the responsibility that the SANDF has in safeguarding our borders.
Our borders, as a fact, we are mandated by the constitution of this country to safeguard the country and be at the borders. We're not only doing this on our own. We've got other agencies that are with us. The police are involved, Home Affairs are involved. So it's not only a sole mandate of the SANDF. So there's a whole lot of people at play in terms of safeguarding the country. Our responsibility would probably, if I may maybe then separate us from everybody else, is that we provide the foot soldiers that are looking after the borders, and we make sure that whenever we get a call out, probably from the trekking companies or from the police saying cars have been hijacked heading that direction, we get our people there to stop these cars from crossing. We've done that in the past. We've had successes of stopping cars before they even cross the border. So that is our role that we play. We make sure that every time our intelligence is on par with everything that's happening. Whenever we pick up on anything, we make sure that we are there, we safeguard and we protect the country.
Right. Colonel, we got to go, but thank you very much indeed for your insight. We're going to have much more conversations with various role players in the South African National Defence Force, but we appreciate your perspective.
Thank you so much.
All right, Colonel Ronald Maseko there. We're live from Polokwane. It's just a stone throw away from the new Peter Mokaba Stadium as well. So that's just to give you a setting. I'm going to throw it back to the studio. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you more news.